The discovery in the ruins. The air tasted like metal and ash as Cooper Reed adjusted his salvage mask, scanning the devastated landscape of what was once New Meridian's research district. 3 weeks since the meteor strike, and most had abandoned this sector to the elements and looters. Perfect hunting grounds for a tech salvager like him. Nothing but picked over scraps today, Cooper muttered, kicking aside a twisted piece of metal. His scanner beeped weakly, barely registering valuable materials. He was about to call it a day when something caught his eye, a narrow fissure in the ground revealing hints of intact structure beneath. "Well, hello there," he whispered, aiming his light into the darkness. "What are you hiding?" The descent was treacherous, requiring Cooper to squeeze through tight passages of broken concrete and twisted rebar. His breathing echoed in the confined space as he dropped into what appeared to be an underground laboratory, untouched by the scavengers above. Astromed Research Division read a half-illuminated sign, its power supply barely functioning. Cooper whistled low. Astromed was known for cutting-edge biotech and questionable ethics. Their facilities were usually impossible to access without triggering security protocols. Must have been damaged in the strike, he reasoned, moving carefully between toppled equipment and shattered glass containers. His scanner suddenly spiked, detecting something powerful at the chamber's far end. Behind a reinforced door marked Project Starseed, authorized personnel only. Cooper found his prize, but not what he expected. It wasn't tech or precious metals. It was a woman, or something like a woman. She floated in a transparent cylinder filled with iridescent fluid, connected to pulsing machines through slender tubes. Her skin glowed a soft purple, matching her delicate features. Dark hair with violet highlights floated around her face like a cosmic halo. "What were they doing to you?" Cooper whispered, his voice echoing in the silent chamber. His scanner indicated the stasis field was failing. Without maintenance, the life support would collapse within hours. Cooper wasn't a hero. He was a scavenger, surviving on the edges of society. But something about her peaceful face stirred something long dormant within him. "I must be losing my mind," he muttered as he searched the control panel. After several attempts, he found the sequence to safely deactivate the stasis field. The fluid drained slowly, lowering her gently to the chamber floor. The tubes detached automatically as the process completed. Cooper approached cautiously, medical blanket in hand. Her eyes fluttered open, startlingly bright, with irises that shifted between silver and violet like cosmic nebulae. She gasped, drawing her first breath of real air perhaps in years. "It's okay," Cooper said softly, wrapping the blanket around her shoulders. "You're safe now." Her gaze locked onto his, intense and searching. When she spoke, her voice was melodic, yet raspy from disuse. "My beloved," she whispered, reaching out to touch his face with trembling fingers. "You've finally come for me." Cooper froze, bewildered by her words and the strange feeling of rightness that washed over him at her touch. "I think there's been some misunderstanding," he said gently. "I'm Cooper, and I found you by accident." She smiled mysteriously, her eyes glowing brighter. "There are no accidents among the stars, beloved," she replied. "My name is Aya, and our souls are now bound by your act of mercy." Before Cooper could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the facility. Emergency lights bathed the chamber in pulsing red. "We need to go now," Cooper urged, helping her stand on unsteady legs. "Can you walk?" Aya nodded, clutching the blanket around her slender form. "I will follow you anywhere, beloved," she said with absolute conviction. Cooper sighed. This was going to be complicated. Refuge among the stars. The journey back to Cooper's home was fraught with close calls. Twice they had to duck into abandoned buildings as Astromed security drones swept overhead, their searchlights cutting through the twilight. Aya moved with surprising grace despite her weakened state, following Cooper's lead without question. "Just a little further," Cooper whispered as they approached the outskirts of the settlement. His home, a repurposed atmospheric monitoring station, sat perched on a ridge overlooking the valley. isolated enough to avoid unwanted attention. Once inside, Cooper activated the security protocols, causing metal shutters to slide over the windows. The small dwelling hummed to life, illuminating the modest living space filled with salvaged tech and makeshift furniture. "This is your dwelling?" Aya asked, her voice still carrying that melodic quality that didn't sound quite human. "It's not much," Cooper replied, suddenly self-conscious about the clutter. "But it's safe." Aya wandered the room, touching objects with curious fingers, her purple skin catching the light in mesmerizing ways. She paused at a small potted plant on the windowsill, the only bit of green in the otherwise mechanical space. "It lives," she said, delighted. "You nurture life even here," Cooper shrugged. "It's just a plant, yet you care for it," she smiled. "That tells me much about you, beloved." "About that," Cooper said, retrieving some spare clothes from a storage compartment. "You keep calling me beloved, but we just met. I don't understand what you mean by souls being bound." Aya accepted the offered clothing, a simple shirt and pants that would be too large for her slender frame. "My people are called the Celestians," she explained, running her fingers over the fabric with fascination. "We form deep connections through acts of true compassion. When you freed me without thought of reward, risking yourself, our essence recognized each other." "That sounds intense," Cooper replied, turning away as she began changing. "On Earth, relationships usually develop more slowly." Aya laughed softly. "Earth customs are strange to me. The scientists who held me spoke often of data and specimens, but never of connection." Cooper's jaw tightened. "How long were you there?" "By your measurements, perhaps 3 of your years," Aya said, her voice momentarily losing its musical quality. "Dr. Chen was particularly interested in my ability to sense emotions and intentions across great distances." "You can read minds?" Cooper asked, turning back to find her dressed, the oversized clothes making her look even more delicate. "Not thoughts," she corrected. "Only emotional states and intentions. Like now, you feel protective, confused, and..." Afraid Cooper didn't deny it. "Astromed won't give up easily. They'll be looking for you." "For us," she said simply, stepping closer. "Your aura is now connected to mine. They will sense it." Cooper ran a hand through his hair. "Great. So I've got the most powerful corporation in the colony after me because I decided to play hero." Aya's expression fell. "You regret saving me?" "No," Cooper said quickly, surprising himself with his certainty. "No, I don't." The sincerity in his voice brought a luminous quality to her skin, making her glow slightly brighter. "Then we will face this together," she said, reaching for his hand. When their fingers touched, Cooper felt a strange sensation, like electricity but warmer, more intimate. A connection forming. "I should check the perimeter sensors," he said, pulling away gently. "And you need rest." As he busied himself with the security systems, he watched Aya explore his small home with childlike curiosity. She paused at his workbench, examining the half-repaired tech devices. "You create," she observed. "You restore what others discard." "It's just salvage work," Cooper replied. "Nothing special." "All creation is special," Aya said, her fingers hovering over a communications device. Suddenly it powered on, lights blinking to life though it had been dead for months. Cooper stared in amazement. "How did you do that?" Aya looked equally surprised. "I simply wished it to function." "Another Celestian ability you failed to mention?" Cooper asked, approaching the bench. "My people can channel energy," she admitted. "The scientists were most interested in this aspect." Cooper's mind raced with implications. No wonder Astromed kept her prisoner. Such abilities would be priceless for weapons development. "We should rest," he said finally. "Tomorrow we'll need supplies if we're going to stay ahead of them." Aya nodded, then asked hesitantly, "Where shall I sleep, beloved?" Cooper gestured to his bed. "You take it. I'll use the chair." "In my culture, separation causes pain after bonding," she said quietly. "But I will respect your customs." As night fell over the ridge, Cooper found himself watching Aya sleep, her purple skin glowing faintly in the darkness, wondering what cosmic coincidence had brought this otherworldly being into his life, and what it would cost him to keep her safe. Hearts Across Galaxies morning brought soft light filtering through the station's shutters, painting patterns across Aya's sleeping form. Cooper had barely slept, his mind racing with plans and concerns. He'd spent hours monitoring communication channels for any mention of Astromed's search operations. "You didn't rest?" Aya observed, her eyes opening suddenly, those cosmic irises shifting color with awareness. "Someone had to keep watch," Cooper replied, pushing away from his monitoring station. "How do you feel?" Aya sat up, stretching with a fluid grace. "Stronger," she smiled. "Your world's energy patterns are becoming familiar to me." Cooper busied himself preparing a simple meal from his rations. "I need to go into the settlement today, get supplies before we consider our next move." "We must leave this moon," Aya said with sudden certainty. "I sense their search expanding." "Leaving isn't simple," Cooper explained, placing a bowl of synthesized protein before her. "Transport ships require identification, credits, and clearance codes." Aya touched the food curiously before trying a small bite. Her expression brightened. "This contains nutrients," she said, surprised. "Did you expect me to poison you?" Cooper asked with a wry smile. "The scientists fed me through tubes," she replied simply. "This is pleasurable." Something in Cooper's chest tightened at her words. What kind of existence had she endured in that lab? "Eat," he encouraged. "I'll prepare for the supply run." As Cooper gathered his gear, Aya watched him intently. "You hide your emotions well, beloved, but I sense your concern." "Stop calling me that," Cooper said more sharply than intended. Seeing her flinch, he softened his tone. "I'm sorry, it's just, on Earth, those words mean something specific." Aya approached him slowly. "In your language, what word properly describes one who saves another's essence? Who binds their fate to yours through compassion?" Cooper fumbled with his pack. "Friend, maybe? Ally?" "These seem inadequate," Aya replied, standing closer now. "But I will try." Her proximity made Cooper acutely aware of her presence. The subtle luminescence of her skin, the faint scent like distant stars and summer rain. "Tell me about your world," Cooper said, changing the subject. "What's it like where you come from?" Sadness flickered across her features. "Celestia orbits twin suns in a system far from here. My people live in harmony with energy currents that flow through all things. We don't build structures as you do. We shape existing elements with our connection to the cosmic flow." "It sounds beautiful," Cooper said. It was. Aya's voice grew distant. Before the great vessels came with their weapons and collection devices, Cooper stilled. "Astromed raided your planet?" "They called themselves explorers," Aya explained, her skin dimming slightly with the painful memory. "They said they sought cultural exchange. Many of my people were taken. Few would have survived the experiments." Impulsively, Cooper reached for her hand. When their fingers intertwined, that same warm current flowed between them, stronger than before. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "You have nothing to apologize for," Aya replied, her free hand rising to touch his face. "You're different. Your energy speaks truth." The moment stretched between them, a connection forming that transcended words. Cooper found himself leaning slightly toward her, drawn by something beyond physical attraction. Aya's eyes widened, sensing his emotions. "Your heart rate increases when I'm near," she observed. "That's normal," Cooper managed, not pulling away. "Is this how your species expresses connection?" she asked, moving imperceptibly closer. "Sometimes," Cooper admitted, his voice low. Aya's fingers traced the contour of his jaw with feather-light touch. "On Celestia, we share energy directly," she whispered. "May I show you?" Cooper nodded, unable to form words. Aya leaned forward, pressing her forehead gently against his. A sensation like warm sunlight flooded through him, emotions that weren't his own washing over his consciousness. Gratitude, wonder, affection, trust. When she pulled back, Cooper felt oddly breathless. "What was that?" "A glimpse of my essence," Aya said softly. Now part of yours, Cooper's communication system suddenly blared with an alert, shattering the moment. Security drones had been deployed throughout the sector, a full-scale search operation. "We need to move," Cooper said, reluctantly stepping back from Aya. "They're getting closer." As he gathered final supplies, Cooper couldn't ignore how the brief connection had changed something fundamental between them. Whatever cosmic bond Aya believed in, he was beginning to understand its power. "Ready?" he asked, offering her a protective cloak. Aya took it, her fingers brushing his deliberately. With you, always, she replied, her eyes holding a promise that transcended their short time together. Cooper knew then that whatever happened next, their fates were indeed intertwined, not by alien mysticism, but by a choice he was making with every passing moment. The pursuit. The settlement buzzed with Astromed security forces as Cooper and Aya navigated its crowded streets. Cooper kept his head down, Aya's purple skin hidden beneath a hooded cloak. "They're everywhere," Cooper whispered, pulling Aya into a narrow alley as another patrol passed. "Dr. Chen leads them," Aya said, her voice tight with fear. "I sense her determination," Cooper cursed under his breath. "The supply depot is just ahead. We get what we need and disappear." They were halfway through gathering provisions when alarms blared throughout the marketplace. A stern voice echoed over loudspeakers. "Attention, citizens. A dangerous research subject has escaped containment. Report any suspicious individuals immediately." "Time to go," Cooper urged, but they found their path blocked by armed guards. "There," a sharp voice cut through the crowd. Dr. Chen stood at the alley entrance, her clinical gaze fixed on Aya. "Subject Starseed, you've caused quite the inconvenience." "She's not your subject," Cooper said, stepping protectively in front of Aya. "How touching," Dr. Chen replied coldly. "The specimen has formed an attachment. Fascinating data point." Cooper reached for his salvaged blaster, but Dr. Chen was faster. A pulse weapon discharged, striking Cooper in the shoulder. He crumpled to his knees, pain radiating through his body. "Cooper," Aya cried, her hood falling back to reveal her glowing skin. "Take the specimen," Dr. Chen ordered her guards. "The human is expendable." As guards approached, something changed in Aya's demeanor. Her eyes blazed with cosmic light, her skin pulsing with energy. "You will not harm him," she said, her voice resonating with power. A wave of energy exploded outward, sending Dr. Chen and her guards flying backward. Equipment shorted out, lights flickered, and the ground itself seemed to tremble. Aya knelt beside Cooper, her hands glowing as she pressed them to his wound. "Hold on, beloved," she whispered. Cooper felt warmth spreading through him, the pain receding as Aya channeled her energy into healing him. "We need to move," Cooper managed, struggling to his feet as reinforcements approached. Aya supported him as they fled through the chaos her powers had created, leaving Dr. Chen's unconscious form behind them. New horizons, they found refuge in an abandoned communications tower at the colony's edge. Cooper's wound had mostly healed thanks to Aya's abilities, though he remained weakened. "You never mentioned you could do that," Cooper said, watching Aya scan the horizon for pursuit. "I wasn't certain I could," she admitted. "On my world, such energy manifestation is used for creation, not destruction." Cooper touched her hand gently. "You saved my life." A soft smile lit her features. "As you saved mine." Their moment of peace was short-lived. Transport ships circled the sector, searchlights scanning methodically. "They won't stop," Cooper said grimly. "Not while Dr. Chen wants your abilities." "There is a way," Aya said, her expression resolute. "But it requires complete trust." Cooper looked into her cosmic eyes and realized something had changed within him. The connection he'd initially resisted now felt essential to his being. "I trust you," he said simply. Aya placed her hands on either side of his face. "Our bond can shield us, but it must deepen. On my world, this is the ultimate connection between souls." Their foreheads touched, and this time Cooper welcomed the energy flowing between them. Memories, emotions, and sensations mingled. His childhood on Earth, her life among the stars, their shared pain and hope intertwining into something new and powerful. When they separated, Cooper gasped at the subtle change, a faint luminescence visible beneath his skin. "We are truly bonded now," Aya whispered. "They cannot track us separately." With their new connection masking their presence, they slipped past security to the spaceport. There they found unexpected allies, a resistance group opposing Astromed's unethical research. "We've been monitoring their experiments for months," explained Sarah, their leader. "We can get you on a transport to the outer colonies." As they prepared to board, Dr. Chen appeared one final time, backed by armed guards. "That specimen is Astromed property," she declared. Cooper stood tall beside Aya. "She belongs to no one. Together." They channeled their bonded energy, creating a barrier that Dr. Chen's weapons couldn't penetrate. The scientist watched in furious disbelief as they boarded the waiting ship. As the colony shrank beneath them, Aya gazed at the stars through the viewport, her hand firmly clasped in Cooper's. "Where shall we go?" Cooper asked, feeling truly free for the first time in years. Aya's eyes sparkled with cosmic light. "Everywhere," she answered. "The universe awaits us, beloved," Cooper no longer corrected her. The word felt right now, earned through sacrifice and choice rather than cosmic coincidence. As their ship accelerated toward distant stars, Cooper realized he'd found something he never knew he was missing, a connection that transcended worlds. "Beloved," he whispered back, the word a promise as they journeyed toward their shared horizon.